Well, hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. Wow, what a wonderful way to start with some elephants here at Tau in Madikwe Game Reserve, and what a beautiful scene this is. Have a look at those reflections. A perfect way to start our afternoon. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the show today. In fact, I've been with you all week and it's been wonderful. We've had some great sightings, as well as just taking some time to relax, chat, and enjoy the sights and sounds of many different waterholes across Africa. Now remember that this is of course a live and interactive show, so please do chat to me, say hello, let me know who you are, where you're watching from, maybe what you're hoping to see today, as well as any questions that you may have, and you can do so on the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to me in the YouTube chat stream. Just remember to use @FC if you'd like those comments and questions to come directly to me. You can also join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. Or you can WhatsApp us now using our new WhatsApp line, and the number will be shown to you shortly, which you can add as a contact on your mobile device and then send through those comments and questions through that application as well. I feel like this scene deserves to be painted. Now yesterday I don't think we saw an elephant at all here at Tau. It was a little bit overcast, cooler weather. But wow, what a sight to start off our waterhole show today. Penelope, hello, welcome. You say hi from a waterlogged KZN. You've had so much rain since 5 a.m. and the heavy flooding continues. Well, I hope everyone stays safe in KZN, and I can't believe there's still so much rain coming through, but I think that is a bit of weather that's come in off the coast there. We had a little bit of rain here in the Lowveld, which often is because of the weather systems that come in from the coast of Mozambique, but fortunately nothing too severe. Fuzzy Dunlop, hello, happy Feline Friday. Indeed, to everyone watching, happy Feline Friday. Although these elephants are not feline, we can always hope maybe we'll get surprised today with a cat popping through. It's interesting to note that elephants' tusks, in fact, almost all of them, one is a lot shorter than the other. A lot more wear and tear on the one due to them favoring a particular tusk. Sometimes it's their right tusk, sometimes it's their left tusk. And often the one that is more used is shorter, a little bit more worn down, more chips being taken out of it. Oh wow, the other one's moved quite far already. Oh, he's come over to this bush. This poor tree was demolished by elephants over the last winter and dry season. And I think out here at Madikwe, it's lovely and green now, but slowly it's going to become less so. And the elephants out here have to use their tusks quite a bit to dig, to bring up roots, take off bark in order to survive and get the nutrition they need. just because of the lack of green vegetation through the second half of the year, or the middle part of the year. Hello boy, you are beautiful. Maybe we'll get him having a bit of a splash. Oh, he's sinking in. Look at his feet. And on this bull, you can really see that his left tusk there is broken off. Now, whether that was sort of an accident or from fighting or just from overuse and sort of the leverage by trying to dig something up, maybe just made that it was a little bit used a bit harshly, maybe too much pressure exerted on it, that meant it broke off. But he definitely favors his left tusk in that way. Gilda, you'd like to know what the temperature is by me today. So I'll have to check for Madikwe in particular, but here in the Lowveld, I think it's about 25 degrees today. A nice mild day in comparison to sometimes the heat that we can get here. But slowly but surely the temperatures are dropping. I think next weekend we're in for a little bit of a cold front coming through. Okay, Tadiwa's directing has just confirmed that it's 21 degrees here at Madikwe today, which is not actually very warm. There's another elephant coming through. Oh, this is just beautiful. But it's sunny, and that eventually all adds up and means that these elephants do like to come down to the waterhole. These are all quite big bulls, I must say. None of them look particularly small or sort of younger in age in comparison to another. Oh, this guy's got a bit of a takeaway on his back. Threw some grass over the top. Wow, that is... Now, when we talk about temples sunken in, just look at the top, at the forehead of this elephant. Everyone see how sunken it is above the eye. You can actually see the two cavities, one sort of where the cheekbone comes, and then one sort of right at the top in line with the ear. And that's when we talk about the sunken in nature of a elephant bull's skull, and often that indicating age. And this bull looks much older than the one that we were just looking at, as well as the one that photobombed our view. These two are having some words now, I'm sure.
Experience the magic of the wild on an unforgettable 4-night safari at Magula Nature Reserve. Hosted by the one and only Stephen Falconbridge. With Steve as your private guide, you'll gain incredible insights into Africa's wildlife, leaving with knowledge and memories to last a lifetime. Get hands-on with conservation, track elusive cheetahs, and even take to the skies on a hot air balloon ride. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive. The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Muddy water on themselves. Well, I think these elephants might hang out here for a little while, so let's head up and see what's happening at Oldonyo. Well, here we have some impalas, and the colors here always strike me, don't they? Especially when the sun is out. Beautiful cumulus clouds in the sky. Blue, green, brown reflections, and of course the sort of, I don't know how you describe the color of an impala. I mean, I suppose tawny or brown would be the closest, but they've got sometimes they look a little bit more apricot colored, depending on the lighting. But they are so beautiful. A group of males here. And I say that because they all have horns, but just look how wide that one's horns are. Goodness me. And we have some helmeted guinea fowls arriving there on the left. It's nice to actually see these antelopes be able to come to the waterhole and have a beautiful view of them. So many times other animals have to stand by while the likes of the elephants come and drink here, although it's been a while since we've seen an ellie here during the show, at least. I'm not sure about the other times of the day, as well as other antelope species. Zebras, it's been a while. I love these guinea fowl. They seem like they're trying to sneak past without being noticed. Nala, so that's an interesting comment. It's the same species of impala in terms of the ones that are in East Africa and Southern Africa, but of course genetically there may be variation, just like there are geographic differences between giraffes in different areas as well. But with these impalas, I do find that the males tend to have larger horns, more commonly in the impalas in East Africa than in Southern Africa. Our males, I haven't seen many that have horns the size of these males here up in East Africa. So wide. We kind of used to them being a lot closer together and not quite as long. But you're right, they do seem a little bit more buff. Alex, I'm no longer away. I'm home in the Lowveld. So yes, it was lovely to have a little break. Thank you for asking. But it's good to be back now and working. And I'll actually be back behind the wheel as well, joining on live drives from next week. So I'm looking forward to being back on drive with you all as well for our live safaris that happen in the afternoon and the mornings. And I'll finally be able to be at Sandringham and explore that area with you all on board. So that's very exciting for me personally. So learn more, yes. Impalas do have defense mechanisms, not necessarily something that is unique to impalas themselves. They have horns, the males do, which is something that isn't unique to impalas. Many antelopes have horns, or animals like buffaloes, etc. So the males have that to defend themselves, but also to sort of compete with other males. As we are seeing maybe on the right there, it looks like one or two males have been knocking horns. The females, however, don't have horns, and one of the defense mechanisms that they use is sort of to be in a herd. safety in numbers, as it were, sticking to open clearings so that it's less likely something can sneak up on them and they have more space to sort of run away. So that's one of the defense mechanisms as well. And then the fact that they have a rutting season in southern Africa where all the lambs are dropped at once. Again, safety in numbers. Predators can only prey on so many, and then you have a pretty good survival rate, at least of a few that will be able to increase the population or at least maintain its balance within the ecosystem. And then their coloration is also a defense. They have this sort of ombre color on their bodies that goes from dark to light, and that also blends in really well with their surroundings, believe it or not. Although they do look quite solid in color, it's amazing how they can disappear in the veld, in an open plain, or even sometimes between some thickets.
My heart is pounding at the moment.
We are here in one of the best places in the world to see tigers.
Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Still an impala in the distance there. We are going to head over to some more elephants now that have arrived at Elephant Pan. Oh wow, that's a lot of elephants. I think we had one here yesterday and now we've got many. This is so beautiful. There's one with a floppy ear that's just walking across towards us now. This is so... Oh, someone's going to start swimming. It looks like a bit of a pool party happening there. Oh, I love those sounds as well. And hear a bit of rumbling communication. Doesn't this just put a smile on your face? Penelope, it is a wonderful sight, and I can hear that they all have arrived here near the camera now. I'm sure to drink from that well. I can't believe when I first visited this camera on the show, there was no water where that elephant is standing, and all these mopani trees were just in bare soil. And it will probably return to that by the end of winter. Oh wow, a whole little herd here now. Now, quickly, have your drink. The boys want to come. Oh. Ishla, hello. Thank you so much for your comment and question. And it's very interesting. Elephants are endangered in terms of their numbers throughout the world, although there are areas where they thrive. In terms of the worldwide population, they are endangered just like lions are as well. And the number that are still around, even though where they do occur, they often do thrive in protected places. But one of the biggest threats is not actually the tusk poaching when it comes to elephants. That the ivory trade is sort of nowhere near what it used to be in the mid 20th century or so, early 20th century. It's now much more about actually areas in which elephants can survive, and the lack of there's two boys having some fun there. The lack of wild areas that can accommodate elephants, and not just elephants, but things like lions and many wild animals. It's loss of habitat that's actually the biggest threat to them. can see there's so many more arriving now as well. Just like it's never ending. Yes, Sandy, I can't believe they're all the way around, and like I said, there's even more coming. This is just so beautiful, and the sound as well, it's really special. Penelope, you say the little one by the well had no tail. Quite possible. We have quite a few elephants here and there that do have shorter tails. I think I actually saw one on this side where we're looking now that had a shorter trunk. I don't know if it was just bent in a different direction, but it did look like it had a shortened trunk, which also just, you know, short tail, short trunk, these elephants find a way to survive. Everywhere we look, there's another elephant. Relaxing, swimming, maybe having a bath. That's a black-winged stilt there, just to the left behind that elephant. Oh, that one's having a bit of a rub. I think these Mapanis prove to be great rubbing posts. I'll never forget when out on drive in the Sabi Sands once, I had was with guests, and we sort of were, I think I'd stopped for a coffee break, and we just heard this. It sounded like a gunshot. Couldn't believe it. I was like, what is that? Oh my word. Quickly packed up, drove around, but it was, but it wasn't, you know, so I wasn't concerned that it actually was a rifle or something like that, but it sounded like this giant crack of noise, and an elephant bull had actually, fortunately we had seen elephants driving to where we had stopped, so that sort of was in the back of my mind, and a bull had just pushed over a marula tree, and it really sounded like a gun firing. That's how loud it was, and they do it with such ease. Oh, that one. Did you see how it just took off? I think this big boy arriving, he's like, ooh, I need to get out the way, sorry. Oh, there's the little one, Penelope, without the tail. I see it there now. It's sort of in the middle on the left-hand side. And it could be that it was born that way. That's always a possibility. Or it lost its tail when it was young, an injury that maybe happened to it. I do apologize, everyone. Hopefully we'll be back at Elephant Pan soon. But for now, we've come back to these impalas at this beautiful scene here at El Doño.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
It looks like actually 4 of the males here are tussling it out a little bit. Nothing too serious, but it's interesting to see what I was talking about, using their horns to sort of work out their dominance between one another, also strengthen themselves as they go. We are going to head back over to Elephant Pan. Starbuck, you'd like to know, why don't elephant herds ever fight? To say ever is one of those things I try to avoid in the bush, because never say never or ever, because nature continues to surprise us. But generally, Starbuck, the reason that elephant herds don't have clashes is because they don't really have a reason to. They're not competing for dominance with each other, which herd can be the most dominant herd of the area or anything like that. They're pretty neutral when it comes to that sort of thing. And I think the times where we would see maybe herds actually clashing, or matriarchs maybe standing their ground a little bit and that sort of thing, is in times of extreme weather, or seasons of drought, or deprivation of resource. So when there's very little water, literally like one pool of water left in the whole of a massive area, or the food source is just completely limited, and then you would have maybe elephants starting to clash with one another over that. But in general, in these places where there's more than enough for everyone to survive throughout the year, we don't really see that sort of behavior because it's not necessary. Males, on the other hand, of course, need to compete for dominance. That sort of the drive that they have within them to reproduce and be able to mate with females means that they need to compete and actually clash and have the risk of injury. For elephant herds, as well as multiple other females who find themselves in a herd situation where there's sort of a dominant male, many of the antelopes and things like that, why run the risk of injury when fighting with one another when you don't need to? And that's sort of the bottom line of it all, really. GM, yes, that is a possibility. I think it was last winter there was still water in this pan. It was less and it was quite muddy, but the well was still there, and we saw the elephants definitely sort of flock around it, taking their turns to try and get their trunk into some clean water. But there is always the possibility that it could dry up completely, depending on how much rain the summer brings, and then of course how hot it is and how much evaporation occurs during the summer and then into the winter as well. Well, we've popped back up here to Kenya where these impalas are still having a go at each other. And it does look like there's one here with a much, maybe they are more evenly matched than I initially thought. But you can see it's not super serious. It's more just that natural testosterone drive. If you see, I've seen a pair of impalas having a serious fight before, and it's very scary. The one had blood on its neck, and it was very intense. This doesn't look too much like that, but it's what we expect to see from males. And the pair on the left, I'm sure I have chosen each other to do this with because they're both younger, whereas the pair on the right are far more mature, having much more evenly large sets of horns. Pairs of horns. I've got elephants on my braid. For good reason, we've been looking at quite a few of them. So Tadeo has actually asked a very interesting question, which I haven't addressed yet on this show, regarding the impala's rutting season in East Africa in comparison to Southern Africa, and they are not the same. So East Africa, when it comes to impalas, functions completely differently than in Southern Africa due to sort of the extended rainfall season is one of the most likely reasons for the continuous breeding throughout the year. Also the higher temperatures closer to the equator, all of those sort of factors I think come into play, and not such great variation in day length like we get in comparison to Southern Africa. So males will compete for dominance throughout the year in Kenya, or here what we're watching now, but it's not as intense because they have more opportunity to mate with females as they are coming in and out of estrus throughout the year. So they will compete, then have a harem, mate, and then that can happen cyclically throughout the year. whereas in southern Africa it's a much shorter, more intense period, which is what we're in now. So that is why we sort of have this, in southern Africa you have one time where all the lambs drop together in November, December, whereas in East Africa you can have babies born throughout the year. Wildlife Lady, it definitely is looking very lush here. I think they've had quite a bit of rain. I think it was it raining yesterday? Yesterday or the day before we had rain, and you can see those clouds are sort of constantly in the sky, and sometimes they build into some rain that falls eventually.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions,
Animals rely on their senses.
share your thoughts, and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
We are here with a male leopard.
Well, this has actually been so lovely to spend some time here with these impalas and watching these boys doing their thing. Such good condition as well. Just look how shiny their coats are. We are going to head back to Southern Africa and see what's happening at Tau. And here is our white-faced whistling duck family with their duckies that are growing so quickly. haven't quite got their white faces just yet, but you can see them starting to flap. They're wanting to fledge. Go, 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 go. You can do it. We'll often see birds doing that sort of thing when they're wanting to practice, starting to stretch their wings, wanting to fly. Oh, there we go. That was looked rather successful, even if it was a short distance. So Sandy Franklin, you want to know what a fledgling is. So it's basically these exact little ducklings that we're looking at now. So they're not quite at the point of flying yet, but they are trying to fly. You can see them hopping, maybe taking short little bursts of flight, but they haven't quite gotten that full ability to fly yet. I'll just have to check quickly with my birding app which sort of what age we're looking at for the white-faced whistling ducks to be able to fly, but it's a few months, and usually 70 to 90 days or so when it comes to this sort of sized bird, relative to something like an Egyptian goose, that it takes for the birds to become, I suppose they would then become juveniles when they able to actually fly. I'll just have to check the exact lingo associated to that. So it says here that the fledging period is at 63 days, so that's just over 2 months, and that the family group is maintained after they are sort of at this age, which is clear that they are starting to want to fly, but the family group is still together. And look how those little ones are hidden now in the grass, mom and dad on the lookout. And it says they actually will keep them in thick vegetation until they have fledged, which is exactly what they're doing right now. They say the first flight is around 77 to 83 days, which is around the time that I thought it would be. So they've between day 63 and day 83, there's about 20 days where they're trying to fly, and then after basically 3 weeks of this sort of behavior, they'll take their first flight. Lorraine, they really are. They are doing so well. And there is a common moorhen that is busy walking along the shoreline there. You can see by that red and yellow bill, big yellow feet helping it move through the mud, looking for any delicious insects along the way. There are some waterback impalas, even some zebras around here as well. Oh, and wildebeest too. Oh, those are definitely some ratting impalas there. We were talking about seeing them ratting live. That male on the left definitely was doing his ratting thing. Catherine, the wildest sighting that I've seen here at Tau would have to be the crocodiles eating a warthog. Unfortunately, didn't see the actual kill take place, but that was unbelievable when we saw those three crocs sort of fighting. There was the head of the warthog, plus there was like a leg around somewhere, and they just kept sort of doing their death roll thing as well as fighting with each other over the remains of the carcass. That was probably, without a doubt, the wildest that I've seen through the waterhole show here. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
what a scene. Look at this. Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. We've got a giraffe on his way to have a drink here. And these impalas milling about too. It looked like that giraffe's being a bit bothered by some flies there. What's bothering you there, boy? Handy to have a very long neck and tongue to reach even your hind knee. Oh, why'd you get a fright now? I think that was just one impala giving all the others a fright. Deb, it's such a pleasure. I'm so glad that I can share this scene with you all. Although I don't know if I can take too much credit for having the mountain show. That's just luck. Christina, it's a great question, and it is something that I think fascinates us all about giraffes, is how long sometimes they take to eventually take the plunge and get water. And I think it's just they've got a sort of natural caution to them that's more than probably any other animal that I've seen. And I think it has to do with just how vulnerable they know they are when their head is down. It is the perfect opportunity for a predator to knock them off their feet. Their reaction time is relatively slow because they are all the way down. They sort of have to jump up and get their balance, and then would only be able to move off. So they really investigate any little thing, and you can see how he's staring to the right, then he might stare to the left. Because if they see movement of a tree, they just want to work out what is that. And only once they're satisfied that it's nothing potentially dangerous, then they'll, be comfortable to lower their heads. And some take longer than others. This boy is taking particularly long today. But he does want to drink. You can see how he wants to lower his head. It's like he's heard me talking now and is looking at me to determine what's going on. go. This is what we've been waiting for. Well, that was short and sweet, but worth the wait. Let's head over to some other big mammals at Founders. Oh, how cool is this? I think this might be... Oh, it's difficult to play favorites, but I do love this waterhole. You can see a black-headed heron here on the right. And then these two rhinos that have come for a drink. Oh, there's another one in the background. We've had some fantastic rhino sightings here at Founders. Very grateful for this location and its beauty that it shares with us.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today, and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today.
I thought that rhino was going to fall. Oh, it's a mom and a baby rhino. No wonder I was so confused. That warthog basically looks the size of that little one. It's an interesting question. That squeaking is from the rhinos. Looks like there might have been a bull, that boy there, that chased off the other two. He's probably maybe the dominant one of the area and didn't want those other boys around. Oh, he's big. Wow. If you've ever wondered the sounds of rhinos, that's them. They do make quite a squeaking noise sometimes. And it might be because of this mom and baby that's coming to the water, and with it potentially being his offspring, wanting to protect it. Oh, it's looked like, oh no, they are there. They might just take a second before coming to the water, but I do think that mom and baby are on their way. Oh, this is just the cutest. That is really, really sweet. Baby's probably just a few months old, maybe 6 months or so. Still would definitely be suckling from mum. Wildlife Lady, the colours are incredible. They really, really do make these scenes here something very special. I don't consider myself an artist at all, but if I had any sort of painting ability, this would definitely be a scene that would I think would be very beautiful to be painted. Victoria, I can't actually remember if I don't think I finished answering your question. I started it and then we had that bull come and chase the others away. Would rhinos also be intimidated by elephants at waterholes? I think they would be. Elephants are much bigger than rhinos, double, triple their size even, depending male or female. But I think it also definitely depends on the size of the waterhole. So a smaller waterhole like this, you might find that the rhinos would move away if elephants arrived. Whereas a bigger place like Elephant Pan or even Tau, I don't think they would be too bothered with one another. The way that some cheeky elephant bulls are, we might find them trying to chase off smaller rhinos because they don't like to share. But for the most part, they're not two species that have too much to do with each other, each sort of having their own niches that they fill. Rhinos being, well, white rhinos anyway, being very strict grazers, elephants having a mixed bulk feed diet from grass, but also lots of vegetation and bark and roots and fruit and flowers and all sorts of things. Oh wow, this bull is drinking right here. That's amazing. he's gonna sit. Oh, a little chin rub. Is a good muddy spot if he did want to sit down. But it does look like he had a bit of a mud wallow earlier. Ooh, maybe some marking. Looks like he is going to move off, but that black-headed heron is still perched in the tree there, which is just so beautiful. That dead tree with the clouds and the bird in it. Those sounds were very interesting, weren't they, that we heard from the rhinos? I mean, normally you sort of associate some snorting, sometimes some breathing, sort of the sound of their lips smacking together when they're feeding. And then you do hear the baby rhino sometimes having those high-pitched noises, especially when it's sort of suckling, which is very adorable. But every now and again they do sort of have this high-pitched, I don't know if we could call it a squeal, but high-pitched noises that they can make as well when they are upset. I suppose much like elephants also can make some high-pitched trumpeting or squealing every now and again. Wow, this really is so beautiful, this black-headed heron. What a view. Spas, you want to know the difference in water dependency between white and black rhinos? Pretty much the same. It does depend on their diet in terms of how much water they get in from the vegetation that they eat. That can vary their how frequently they need to come for water. Usually black rhinos, we have them drinking maybe twice a day, but they can also find small little spots to drink within the bush, not necessarily coming to main water holes. White rhinos as well if available to them, but generally white rhinos can tend to go for a little bit longer without water, or not having to come to drink maybe once every 4 days if they have to. But if they can choose, they'll come at least every day, maybe twice a day. But like I say, it does vary depending on their diet and how much water they've gotten from the vegetation that they are eating. Well, this has been lovely. Let's head over to Olifants. Oh wow, elephants crossing the river. This is very cool. We often ask about whether elephants cross or not. Oh, there's a little one at the back there. You could just see that trunk being used as a snorkel. Oh, some on the other side already. Well, just goes to show how quickly they can disappear, but very cool to see them actually crossing this massive river. It's flowing so nicely at the moment with all the rain that we've had of late. Alex, interesting one. I have seen that actually once. Not necessarily every single one of them, but I did see once a little one holding on to mom's tail, which was very cute. Well, now that those eddies have disappeared, let's head back over to Elephant Pan. Jerome, earlier you actually asked a question about elephants and why they have toenails. They seem pointless. So the toenails are there and they actually do play an important role, just like rhinos also have toenails. The toenails themselves, they may seem pointless, but they do actually provide the elephants to help them grip soil when they're walking. The front of the foot is where most of the pressure is placed on an elephant. If you ever have the opportunity to see their tracks, you'll see that the front has quite a lot of pressure placed when it's down. The back and then sort of the front is where they flick forward, and they often lean that way when they're walking. So that's the one thing. And also then the keratin, the hardened hair that toenails are formed from, protect some of the very sensitive soft tissue in front of the foot as well. So although they may seem like why are they there, they do actually have a role to play and help the elephant protect its feet, as well as providing protection for that soft tissue, and also then grip on the ground when walking up or downhill, for example.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Haina nchumo, haina maka. Emavo kwenye ya mbilu, haina maka. Lifasila mina ritapela, zatsemba, utatsamana mina.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a serviceman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve. Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
Because we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
And really doing what crocs do best here, lying in the sun. Alex, you say yay, love a croc? Always wonderful to see them, especially I think yesterday we had it moving around quite a bit, which was nice. But I mean, enormous tail, such strength there in that tail as well. Looks like a red-billed teal there on the left. Also quite distinctive big white cheeks. I always think these birds are very brave, but I think the distance is actually a lot further than our perception from sort of this sort of side-on view. But that reflection is just, oh, there's a big yawn from the croc. Maybe just letting that shell duck know. And look how big my teeth are. Oh, wow. Oh, that is huge. Let's head back over to Founders. Oh wow, it is all happening here. Look how beautiful this is. We've got a rhino under the tree, zebra came to drink, and a posing black-headed heron in the water. Wildlife lady knows. So the black-headed heron is not the biggest heron. The biggest heron we find in South Africa is actually called the Goliath heron, being that it is so big. And it's got this sort of softy pink purple color to it, and it is huge in comparison. It would stand sort of an entire neck length above the black-headed or grey heron. I hope that we get to see it catch something, although I'm sure it's catching small things all the time. Julian, it was definitely in its sunbathing pose there for sure. Now it's in its hunting pose. And look how carefully it moves. And we'll just watch its feet slowly up, slowly down. So precise. I think it's sinking in the mud there actually. It's got to be careful.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. South Africa's wild places are closer than you think because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
If you're thinking about booking a trip with Wild Earth, do it. I highly recommend it.
Well, this has definitely been a treat here at Founders. Let's head over to Tau. I don't know if it's the same croc or different, but it has moved positions. It looks like it was quite recent with the bubbles in the water and the wetness of the scales. Okay, Kulu just told me now that there are two of them, one here and one just to the left hand side, so two of them together. That's quite cool. Wildlife Lady, it's such a pleasure. I'm so glad you've enjoyed today's show. It's really been wonderful. I mean, it was sort of a little bit quiet in the beginning, but it's picked up nicely. We had lots and lots of elephants, the beautiful sighting at Oldonyo with the giraffe and the impalas and Mount Kilimanjaro, and then Founders. What a treat. That definitely was my highlight with the rhinos there, and that heron that's just been giving us so much with all of its posing and hunting and all the rest of it. I think these crocs aren't too bothered by each other at all. They both look rather large, to be honest. Right now, just soaking up the sun, it seems. Well, everyone, it has been a wonderful show today. I can't believe it's over. It's gone very quickly. But thank you to everyone who chatted to me, sent through comments and questions today. It was lovely to hear from you. We will be back again tomorrow. I'll be with you for my last show before I head to the live drives next week. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at the waterhole. Today was definitely a surprise. Many treats for us, as we've enjoyed relaxing and listening and chatting here at the waterhole. Remember that in an hour we'll have the sunset safari that will be coming to you live right here on Wild Earth. But from us and the team, we wish you a pleasant day or evening ahead, depending where you are in the world, and I'll chat to you all again tomorrow. Goodbye for now.